Keneshitam preshitam patadi manah kena prana prathama preti yukta keneshitam vachamimam vadanti chakshu shrotram kaudeva yunakti. He asks, this student asks the teacher. Who the teacher is and who the student is not mentioned in the Upanishad. But it's a dialogue. So the student asks, impelled by what light, inspired by what power does my mind think? Impelled and inspired by what inner light are these words uttered? What illumines my sight, gives me the experience of seeing? What is it that, illumines my other senses by which I can hear, I can smell, So all of this question, he asks the question, Kaudeva, which bright being, which light is it that impels, that inspires, that illumines all this?
Consciousness is perhaps the biggest riddle in nature. Stripped to its core meaning, consciousness is what allows us to be aware both of our surroundings and of our own inner state.
This is one way of understanding consciousness. As you can see, it's a very physical way of understanding consciousness from an external point of view. But that's only one aspect. The real aspect of consciousness, which is interesting, is our inner experience. You know what the difference is? It's like a doctor comes and examines the enzymes in my stomach and the secretion of juices and things like that. And finally, after all the examination, says, okay, this person is hungry. And I can report to you that I am hungry because I can feel it. So I have an inner feeling, a consciousness.
Consciousness means, see, the English word consciousness is very loosely used. If you say somebody is in anesthesia, if they come back, you say, oh, he's come back to his consciousness. No, he's conscious because there are no alternate words, we use the same words. Language is a different aspect. Language is also a product of our intellect. So it can only talk in opposites. Without polarities, there is no language. Without polarities, your intellect cannot function. But when you talk about consciousness, you are not talking about two polarities. There is no A consciousness and B consciousness. There is no positive consciousness and negative consciousness, there's just one. So, what doesn't have a polarity cannot be dissected with your intellect. Intellect is a sharp instrument, it can only dissect, it cannot absorb something. This is my body, that is your body, distinctly established. Right now, it is 100% like this. I don't know what you're drinking, I can't see, but whatever you're drinking, what's in the cup is not you. The moment you drink it, after some time it becomes you. This is happening right now. So, though what you think is your body and what I think is my body is just a piece of this planet, right now it is distinctly clear, this is my body, that is your body, 100%. This is my mind and that is your mind, these are my emotions and those are your emotions, these are my experiences, those are your experiences. But there is no such thing as my consciousness and your consciousness. This is a living consciousness. We blew our own bubble.
What is it that gives us conscious experience? What is it which actually makes us what we are, sentient, conscious, aware beings? The teacher says that this is the most important question in all of human life. And its answer is the answer to all our questions. It's a solution to all our problems. It's the secret of spirituality and religion. And the answer that the teacher gives is Shrotrasya shrotram manaso mano yat vachoha vachasa upranasya prana chakshushas chakshur atimuchya dhira pretyasmad lokadamrita bhavanti. The answer has three parts. But the first part is a direct answer to the question. The question was, what is it that makes my eyes see this conscious experience? What happens? What is that? What is that light? And the answer of the teacher is, it is the eye of the eye. It is the ear of the ear. It is the mind of the mind. It is the speech of the speech. By that, what does it mean? The teacher is using a very sophisticated technique, and we'll try to break it down and understand. What he's doing is, he's giving an answer, the perfect, most perfect possible answer to this very difficult question. We are just beginning to understand the question now. The answer will take some time to understand. But he's giving an answer, a very perfect answer. And not only a perfect answer, it's not a theoretical answer. He's putting it in terms which will be immediately useful to us. Let's see how. It's an answer which, if understood, leads immediately to enlightenment. It leads immediately to answer the question at the deepest level, who am I? Because by now we must have all understood what the student is asking is, what is this thing? What am I really? That's what the student is asking. This bundle of seeing, hearing, thinking, smelling, touching, being happy, being sad, desiring, and then finally growing old and dying. What is this thing? What's the mystery of this thing? That's what he's asking. Basically, he's asking, who am I? What am I? Now, the answer is this. The answer in one word is consciousness. But if you say that to the student, that light which you are looking for, which makes all this conscious experience possible, which makes your conscious life possible, that light is consciousness, immediately that person, the student, will start looking for consciousness. And he will never ever find it. Why not? Not because it's not there. Because he is the one who's looking.
If something is not in your memory, your intellect is helpless about that aspect of life. So how will it come into your memory unless it has come into your experience? You know, what is red, blue, yellow has come into your experience. That is why it's in your memory, otherwise it wouldn't be there in your memory. If you see a certain kind of food, certain kind of drink, certain kind of situation, you know what it is only because it's there in your memory, otherwise you wouldn't know. So right now, something that is not yet in your memory, you are trying to sort it out in your intellect. That's never going to happen. It is not that you will never be able to figure this, that's not the point. You will never be able to figure it with the kind of instruments that you're using right now.
The student is enthusiastic, like I'm sure all of us are, and he asks the question, yeah, I would like to know this. Great. The student is brilliant, so he has understood all this from the strange saying of the Guru. He said, I would like to know this light within. Tell me, how do I know this light within? And the Guru says, na tatra chakshur gacchati na vag gacchati no manaha na vidmo na vijanimo yatheitad anushishyat. I don't know how I can teach you to that. And I don't know it myself. Why? Na tatra chakshur gacchati. You cannot see this consciousness. You cannot see it, you cannot hear it, you cannot taste it. None of the sense organs can reveal this consciousness to you. Na vag gacchati. Language does not suffice. That's why it's so difficult to express it with language. Because language is not meant to express the pure subject. Language always operates in the domain of the object. No manaha, you cannot think about it. Mind cannot know it, language cannot express it, sense organs you cannot see it, even with the most powerful instruments you cannot see it. And hence I do not know it, nor do I know how I can instruct you about it. And he says, there is a way of realizing it. Let me try it. My teacher tried it upon me and I became enlightened, the teacher says. Let me try it upon you, let's see if you become enlightened. The moment you use a term like the eye of the eye, you immediately mean it is something different from the eye itself. First of all, you mean that. Otherwise, you would have said it is the eyes themselves. Moment you say eye of the eye means E-Y-E. The eye of the eye, the ear of the ear, you mean that there is something which is different from the eyes, something which is different from the ears. It's not part of the visual system. It's not part of the auditory system. No more than electricity is part of the bulb. No more than sugar is part of the water. It's something different from our physical body-mind system, number one. But yet it is not completely apart. It's something different which is not part of the body-mind system, which means consciousness is not a part of the body. That's the first answer. Consciousness is not a part of the body. Hands are part of the body. My liver is part of the body, or kidney is part of the body. I am not entitled to speak of my consciousness in that way. It's not like I have a kidney and I have two kidneys and a liver and a heart and a consciousness. Not like that. It is something apart from the body. That's number one. He also means, by implication, it's not something produced by the body. The consciousness, the light within, is not something produced by a mixture of chemicals in this body. Mixture of matter can only produce more matter. It cannot produce sentience, awareness, consciousness. Remember, here I am making a subtle difference between so-called conscious activities and consciousness itself. Conscious activities can be imitated by matter. Your conscious activity of driving a car can be beautifully imitated by the Google car without consciousness. It is being imitated. But consciousness itself is not produced by matter. That's what they're claiming, at least. So it's not a part of the body, it's not even a product from the brain. Number one. Number two, by saying it is the eye of the eye, it seems to imply that in some sense it is the essence of seeing. It's not just something apart and something different from the eye, but it's there in the visual system itself. So consciousness is something which pervades us. It's apart from the body, but it pervades the mind and the body. That's why we feel conscious. The mind feels conscious. So it pervades the mind, it pervades the body. And when you say eye of the eye, ear of the ear, it is that which makes the eyes see, that which enables the ears to hear, that which enables us to have all these conscious experiences of seeing, hearing, talking, smelling, touching, remembering, doing. All these conscious experiences are made possible by that light, which is apart from this body and mind, pervading this body and mind, enlivening this body and mind. Just like electricity makes the bulb shine, makes the fans go round and round, makes the microphone amplify sound. And the teacher says, Anya deva tadviditad atho aviditad adhi iti sushruma purvesham yenastadvyacha chakshire. Our teachers taught it in this way. What's the way? It's like this. That which you are looking for, this consciousness, now you understand it theoretically. You want to know it practically, realize it. Yes, here it is there. Listen carefully. It is not something that is known. Oh, it's unknown. It is not something that is unknown. Anyad eva tad viditad. It is something quite different from everything that you know. Okay, so it's something that I don't know. It's quite something that's quite different from everything that you don't know. What does he mean? He means something. I'll end with this. Let's see if you can tell me what he means. I've tried it with different audiences. Usually kids get it first. It's like, just take it as a simple riddle. What is it that you do not know and yet it is not unknown? Tell me. There is something. Yes?
What is that which is known? All else will be known.
Okay, that's another riddle. Yes, it's true. It's correct. But let me just, you can give me a direct answer. Yes! You yourself. Think about it. You yourself. Do you know yourself? Anything that you say, I know myself. But just think about it. Wait a minute. Anything that you know about yourself is either your body, your personal experience, your biodata, your CV, your own physical body, your memories, your ideas, thoughts. They are not you. We just saw. They are what you, the light, shines through. And yet, can you say that I don't know myself? Of course not. What do you know more than yourself? Who else knows you if you do not know yourself? You know yourself all the time. It's just that we do not know ourselves objectively. As I know this pen or this microphone or this audience or even my own body or even my own mind, I do not know that which is knowing. And yet that which is knowing is ever shining. How is it shining? Well, it's just like all these people are here. How do you know that? You say, well, because I see them. You see them. The proof that they are here is because you see them, right? How do you know that you have got eyes? You can't say, I see them. You don't see your own eyes. How do you know that you've got eyes? Oh, I see my reflection of my eyes. No, that's just a reflection. The eyes directly do not see themselves. But how do you know you've got eyes? How are you so certain? Because by seeing me, you are sure that I am here. Now I'm asking you the question, by seeing what are you sure that you've got eyes? It's a trick question. By seeing what are you sure that you've got eyes?
By seeing.
By seeing anything. The moment you see this, you know that not only is there a pen in Swami's hands, you also know that my eyes are open, your eyes are open. Because you can see. The very fact of seeing reveals to you not only what you are seeing, but also the fact that you've got eyes. The very fact of seeing is a proof that you have got eyes. Otherwise you couldn't see. That's fair enough. The very fact that you have a conscious experience, any conscious experience, is a proof, is a knowledge that you are consciousness.
Chaitanyam, Chit, these are the words used. And what he says is, there is a consciousness in you. This is Chaitanyam. And you have a mind. And you have a body. This consciousness shines in the mind. And through that, in the body, in all the organs of the body. And you feel this consciousness. This is the answer. Now the answer here is, the thing to be noted here is, the teacher presents consciousness in 5 aspects. There's 5 points you have to understand, appreciate. First of all, consciousness is not a part of your body or your mind. Consciousness is not a part of your body or your mind. It is apart from your body and mind. Here it's different from science, because modern science would say consciousness is a product of your body. Even your mind is a product of your body. Mind and consciousness all are products of the brain. That's what physiology would say today. But here the teacher says consciousness is apart from your mind and body. First point, it is not a part of your body. It's not a product of your body. Second point, it's apart, but it pervades and illumines the mind and body. Consciousness pervades and illumines the mind and body, enabling it to function. Third point, this consciousness is not limited by the mind and body. It exists apart from the mind and body also. It's not limited to it. It's not something here in this particular brain, in this part of the body. It's not limited by the body. Third, this consciousness is known. It is known in the functioning of the mind and body. Through the functioning of the mind and body, we can know consciousness. We can experience consciousness. And fifth, the last point to be appreciated is, without the mind and body, consciousness is still there, but it cannot be known. It's not experienced. Example, 5 points. I'll give you an example. There is light here from these tube lights. There is light here. Here is my hand. And light is being reflected from this hand. Okay, it's being reflected from this hand. The light which is being reflected from this hand, you can see here, the light being reflected from this hand, the light is not a part of this hand. It's not a product of this hand. Okay, first point. The second point is, it pervades the hand and illumines the hand. Third point is, I can understand the light. A third point is, it exists. It's not limited by the hand. Other than the hand also, it exists everywhere. And the fourth point is, it's by the reflection in this hand that I can understand the light. Just now here I cannot understand the light. But when I put my hand here and it shines, I can understand the light. I can experience the light when it is reflected. And the last point, very interesting, is if I remove the hand, the light is still there, but it's not experienced. Now it's experienced. Now it is not experienced.
There is no distinction between somebody is unconscious and he became conscious and consciousness. as a larger possibility. So, my body, my intelligence, my mind, my memory, your memory, my experiences, your experience, all different. But there is no such thing as my consciousness and your consciousness. It is just that it is only the human creature on this planet who has the neurological capability and sophistication of mechanism that if they allow it, they can access this dimension of consciousness. No other creature is really capable of accessing it. This doesn't mean there is no consciousness in them. Without that, the life process wouldn't happen. There is consciousness even where there is no body, all right? Only thing is, you need a certain sophisticated instrument to access that, which is the human mechanism. This is why we consider being human is a great privilege, because you have access to dimensions beyond your physical boundaries. That is the fundamental significance of being human. So, let us not misunderstand the instrument and what we see. If you take a telescope and see, you saw another galaxy, but the galaxy is not produced by the telescope. The galaxy is there. The telescope only gave you an access. Similarly, your body, your brain, whatever, I don't want to identify different things, from your hair to your toes, everything is body as far as I'm concerned, including your brain. It is just another dimension of the body. So this body, if we keep it in a certain way, if we do not contaminate it with too many ideas, philosophies, identities, if you keep it in a certain level of openness, this will become an access point to what we are referring to as consciousness or the basis of the life that we are, in a way.